we're going to get some more practice in this lesson video with working with a linear relationship. Here is the problem that we're going to be working with, okay? And we're going to work, this up here is the context of our problem. This is going to be the graph, the table, and then we're going to write the equation. Okay, so the context of the problem says, Courtney is collecting coins. She has 2 coins in her collection to start with and plans to add 4 coins each week. Now it's our job to take this context and fill in the graph and the table and the equation. Now I've told you before, the best thing to start with is always the table because the table will provide all the information that we need for the graph and the equation. So let's start with the table. So after 0 weeks have passed, how many coins does she have in her collection? So whenever you see 0, that just means how much does she start with? And it says that she has 2 coins to start with. Okay, after 1 week, how many coins does she have saved? Well, she has 4 coins because it's been 1 week, plus the 2 she already had. So she has 4 plus 2, which is 6 coins now after 1 week. How many coins does she have after 2 weeks? Well, after 2 weeks, she'll have 2 times 4 is 8. So let's do that. 4 times 2 weeks plus the 2 that she started with. So we have 8 plus 2 is 10. So after 2 weeks, she'll have 10 coins. And hopefully you can see the pattern that we're following. After 3 weeks, she'll have 4 coins for each of those 3 weeks. So 4 times the 3 weeks plus the 2 she started with. 4 times 3 is 12 plus 2 is 14. Okay, and I'm just going to keep filling this in because I think you guys can start to see the pattern here, right? 4 times 4 is 16 plus 2 is 18. Then we have 4 times 5 weeks have passed now, plus the 2 we started with is 22. 4 coins per 6 weeks now, plus the 2 she started with, and that gets us up to 26. Okay, now that we have our table filled in, let's hurry and practice finding the rate of change since we just saw a video on how to do that. Remember, it's the change in y over the change in x. So I'm going to choose these first 2 points. Y changed by 6 minus 2, so y changed by 4 units, and x changed by 1 minus 0, which is 1. So the change in y was 4 over the change in x is 1, so the rate of change for this situation is 4. Okay, let's do our equation next. Now the equation, once you see the pattern that your table is following, the equation is just going to follow that. So we are going to say this is our x column, so x is going to represent the number of weeks that have passed, and this is our y column, so y is going to represent the total number of coins. So we always want to start with our y value. So the total number of coins that she has is 4 times how many weeks have passed, and so x represents how many weeks have passed, plus the 2 she started with. So this is the equation for this situation, for this context. Finally, we can graph these points from our table. Now each line is a point on my graph. So the first point is 0, 2. The next point is 1, 6. Then we have 2, 10, 3, 14, 4 and 18, 5 and 22, and 6 and 26. And I know I did it right because they are all in a straight line. So here is my linear relationship in the graph, a table, and an equation.